bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
In for Susan Michaels, I'm Joe Israel. Israel's security forces go into high alert following several terror attacks over the past few days. Tensions have risen after last week's breakout by 6 Palestinian militants from the maximum security Gilboa prison in northern Israel. Following a stabbing attack, the Israeli police say they've dispatched reinforcements of 2,000 police officers to Jerusalem. In the meantime, IDF forces are still searching for the remaining 2 that escaped from the prison. An IDF senior officer says another military operation in the Strip is not a question of if, but when. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has ruled out a meeting with the Palestinian president to promote a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Bennett says, "I oppose a Palestinian state and think it will be a grave mistake to import the failed Gaza model of Hamas and turn the entire West Bank into that. I see no logic in meeting Abbas when he's suing our soldiers at The Hague and accuses our commanders of war crimes. In my opinion, the Palestinian Authority is a failed entity." An Israeli study found that over 11% of children who recovered from coronavirus suffered from long COVID symptoms. In a study conducted by the Health Ministry in June, it found that thousands of children have already been affected, and 4.6% of them saw their symptoms last more than 6 months. In the meantime, social media platforms are including posts from parents who say they're willing to allow their children to be infected by COVID in order to avoid the need to quarantine in the course of the school year. Health officials warn against such activities. Some 50% of all new COVID cases found in the current wave of viruses attributed to the Delta virus are found in children. And in Bahrain, for the first time in decades, a prayer service took place in plain view. After over 60 years of worship in private, Bahrain's tiny Jewish community of about 50 people have practiced their faith behind closed doors since 1947, when the Gulf country's only synagogue was destroyed at the start of the Arab-Israeli conflict. On September 15, 2020, Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates broke with accepted Arab policy that there should be no ties with Israel until it makes peace with the Palestinians. Sudan and Morocco followed suit. Now there's an effort to buy the building next to the synagogue to establish a yeshiva. I'm Joe Israel.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.